Good day folks, it's Sean here from Air Photography. So we are potentially 10 days away from DJI announcing the upcoming Mini 3. There's been a lot of leaks and rumors over the last couple weeks, and I've made several videos about some of the upcoming features, specs, and prices. In a recent leak, one of the specs that they list is something called Wi-Fi Enabled. Now it's a little bit confusing, and I've had a few people ask me questions about that, asking if the drone is going to be a Wi-Fi drone or if it's going to have Ocusync. Well, the Mini 3 is definitely going to be Ocusync 3, or O3 as DJI calls it, but that feature is actually quite interesting. Now they list that spec, but it's very vague. They don't really go into much detail about what it is, and there's two potential things that it could be. First off, they could just be referencing high-speed transfer from the drone over to the controller. It's very similar to the Mavic 3, how you can transfer all your photos and videos over with high-speed Wi-Fi. So that's one potential thing that it could be referring to. However, another thing that they could be referring to, and it's what I believe it is that you're going to be able to connect your Mini 3 to your phone directly and fly it without a controller. Now, before you dismiss that as a gimmicky feature, after all, who really wants to fly a drone with your phone? You don't have very good control with virtual joysticks, and the range is very poor. You're going to be lucky to get maybe 20 to 50 meters away before a disconnect. In that aspect, yes, it's definitely better to fly with a controller. But one of the features of the Mini 3 is going to be tracking. Because the Mini 3 is now going to have obstacle avoidance sensors, DJI is able to implement ActiveTrack. So that Wi-Fi feature could be very valuable in situations like that. After all, if you want to do any kind of tracking with a drone right now, you have to connect your phone to the controller, set up all your parameters, and then let the drone start tracking you. But the problem is you have this big bulky controller to hang on to. If you're on something like a dirt bike or a mountain bike, what do you do with it? Of course, there are different mounts you can get to put on your handlebars, but really it's not ideal. So if they enable Wi-Fi connection of the drone just to the smartphone, where you can take the drone out, put it up in the air, set all your parameters on your phone, start tracking, put the phone in your pocket, that would be a really valuable tool. When tracking, you don't really need a great deal of distance. If you can get a good solid connection up to 30-40 meters, usually that's plenty when you're doing any type of tracking. Now DJI has released drones in the past where you can control it with just a smartphone, such as the Spark here, and the flight experience is okay. It's not great. It's hard to get nice precision moves with those virtual joysticks. But again, for some people who are hiking and traveling, they don't need a great deal of precision. They just want to get the drone up in the air, grab a few selfies, perhaps grab a nice panorama, and then bring the drone back down. Not having to pull a controller out or even bring one with you just for a few simple shots would be very beneficial to some people as well. And then when you factor in that these drones have a lot of intelligent flight modes, you don't really need the precision to grab certain types of shots. You could put the drone up, use the focus track tool, get a nice point of interest, or even use something like Spotlight. You don't need a lot of precision because the drone and the software is going to keep everything front and center. So myself, I will be quite happy if that does indeed turn out to be the case, and the Mini 3 is going to be Wi-Fi enabled where you can control it with just a smartphone. Now I just want to mention here that that feature is not confirmed. That's just my opinion after reading some of the specs, what it could possibly mean. Well folks, just a quick little video for you today. Hopefully you enjoyed it and got some value out of it. Give it a thumbs up if you did. It's always greatly appreciated. Don't forget to subscribe to my channel so you don't miss any of our upcoming videos, and we'll see you in the next one.